Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. The meta has shifted. Today, I'm going to explain to you. I've been promising you this was going to happen. As the meta shifts, your small creators can get you to the right deck to take advantage of those shifts and win a lot of games and a lot of cubes in Marvel Snap. If you're looking to hit infinite or climb an infinite, today's video is the one for you. But before I tell you about all that, I'm going to tell you about not only that, but how we got there and give you an extra alternate deck to try. But first, I need you to subscribe. There are 3 reasons to subscribe. One is to support a small creator that helps you stay ahead of the meta. Dexter. We're going to look at a Dexter deck later. Dexter posts a deck. Everyone's playing it. Can you climb with it? Maybe, but you're going to play 50 mirrors. You're not ahead of the curve. You are on curve. You want to stay ahead so you can try and win more cubes. Reason 2, we are the home to the biggest Marvel Snap Season Pass giveaway that exists in the game. Next week, we're going to start our giveaway. We're giving away 5 season passes and a grand prize. All you got to do is make sure you're subbed and you're going to comment on a video to enter. Real easy. You're subbed. You won't forget. You ring that notification bell. You're going to be entered. You get a free season pass. Reason 3 to make sure that you're subbed is we're also a podcast. Snap Judgments is a podcast. And tomorrow, well, there'll be a new episode of that podcast up featuring everybody's favorite Marvel Snap creator, KM Best. We're interviewing Canvas. We're going to talk about how to improve your gameplay, how to go from a good player to a great player, from a great player to a full all-time infinite player, and from an all-time infinite player to an actual tournament competitive player. Ring that notification bell. Sub. You don't want to miss it. All good? All right. The deck on your screen currently is the meta deck. This is the deck everyone knows at this point. I'm not going to explain it to you for the 10,000th time. If you're brand new, I'll leave a video in the description. I hit infinite with this running Ghost. The deck is extremely powerful. It wins consistently with second place in the Snap Fan tournament and has a win rate through the roof. It combines control with tempo, with cost reduction, with power. Well, last week, a slightly better version of the deck in some matchups appeared with Iron Lad. Shang-Chi was not great in the meta, so Shang-Chi left for Iron Lad, and Miles was no longer as needed as Wave was less played, so Doom, as a way to go wide, became the dominant force in the meta. This version came in first in the recent Snap Fan Open, beating the previous deck. Either one of those decks was the meta, but at the patch, Kitty Pride was released, and this deck has never had a great matchup against certain types of Kitty Pride decks. The first is the one that Dexter published this week. Where the meta is right now, if you are playing the previous 2 meta decks, the Kitty Pride decks, this Dexter deck is going to be giving you problems. I'm going to explain how to play this because this deck is super fun. You want to be able to use it. Turn 1, you want to Bast or Kitty. Kitty starting as a 3 is obviously really good. And then every turn you're playing Kitty. As soon as possible, you want to get down Collector because when Kitty bounces, when Hood makes a demon, or when Beast or Falcon bounce cards, Collector gets bigger. It's very easy to make a 2/8, 2/10, so on Collector in this deck. In addition, once you get Bishop down, all of these plays, bounces, plays again, give Bishop bonus strength. All these cards also benefit naturally from Bast. You want to play as many cards on Angela as possible. Getting Angela to a 2/6 is relatively easy, but why settle there? If you beast on her, you can get her quite a bit bigger. And on your as you're bouncing Kitty, she ends up like a 110. And by the end of the game, you've got all these cheap cards to play with, hopefully Collector and Bishop on the board, and you can finish that with a Hit Monkey who becomes humongous because you're playing so many cards. America is here for consistency. Iceman's here for a bit of control. Mysterio is here because, well, it's a 2/9 with Bast, but also it synergizes with Bishop, giving him 3 power, and Hit Monkey giving him 6 power. So this combo of plays is what this deck wants to do. This deck is incredibly powerful. Previous versions ran Darkhawk, Dexter's brilliance, and this is genuine brilliance, was to just cut the Darkhawk package entirely and say, I'm going to run a collector package instead. I'm going to well, not even a package. I'm going to let the natural synergy with the buffed collector and all these bounces make up my power differential. Cool. Extremely strong deck, right? I agree. There's also that deck has a very good but not incredible matchup against the meta decks. However, the Kitty Hulk, this is my version. It's only been played by anyone but me, apparently, 5 times. I based this off a deck that was King of Swiss and a Snap Fat Open. This deck still wins a ton. The swing card here is Nebula if you don't want her. A lot of modern versions are cutting Quinjet. I hate cutting Quinjet because Quinjet can make a She-Hulk 0 on the last turn. And a 1-cost hit monkey is extremely strong. But this deck is doing the same basic thing, except it's doing less bouncing. And on turn 4, it wants to play Moon Girl to hopefully get double She-Hulk, double Hit Monkey, or double Kitty, or some combination thereof. At that point, it just, and double Demon. It just drops bombs, goes crazy the last turn of the game. That deck, that combo, straight up wrecks when it goes off, unless the rocks in the deck mess up its combo. The deck straight up ruins the 2 meta decks. Cool? That's obviously a huge problem if you were planning on playing those meta decks. But if you're playing either of these decks, you're running on a mirror that's based on variance. And this is, again, the largest deck in the meta right now, the new hotness that absolutely everyone got. Well, the answer has been published. WW Los, who made the original Doom Wave, created a deck. This deck has been played all of, scroll down, 70 games so far. Every time I scroll down, it's a little bit more. Every time I've checked, it's a little bit more. This deck is the ahead of the curve deck. Lambie took a look at this deck, played it for a little bit, and said, well, until the next OTA, this is the best deck in the game. Let's talk about why. This is the evolution of the stats deck. It's got all the natural stats decky stuff of running Korg, Darkhawk, Rock Slide as a combo, running Doom to be able to go wide on the last turn of the game. It's also got Jeff, Polaris, and Spider-Man again, but when it wants to play those cards is slightly different. It wants to play them before playing it wants to play the Polaris and Jeff and move them before playing Wave on turn 5, so that you can play Wave and Miles on the same turn for 8 power. That 8 power turn is extraordinarily powerful for very, very straightforward reasons. Those reasons being largely you've now matched a Black Bolt turn, but you've added a lot of power to the board and limited the last turn to 1 card. The Kitty Hulk decks, the Kitty bounce decks are now completely screwed. There's no way around Wave. Your Doom then just wins the game. Sunspot is here because on that last turn he's getting 2 extra power because everything costs 4, so your Doom costs 4. That's 2 power for Sunspot. That's a 1-2. The Wave combo with Miles is going to leave at least 1. If you go to play Polaris on 4 to move something 4 Miles, that's another 1, etc., etc. You get the idea. There's lots of little ways and little places to steal an extra power on Sunspot. It ends up really powerful. Everything else here is relatively self-explanatory. This deck is incredible. I spoke about it with Safety. Den is all about this deck. WW Los built the original Doom Wave. It was featured in the actual Marvel Snap client. This deck is meta. We got you. You play this tomorrow. You snap wisely. You play well. This is the deck that gets you to infinite. Get there because within a day, 2 at most, every content creator is going to be talking about this deck. I'm releasing this video earlier in the morning than I usually do to try and give you a head start playing it. So please, please, please make sure you check out this deck. You won't regret it. It's super sweet. All right. Given what the meta is, I had one more idea for a deck I wanted to share with you guys just because I like you. Here's the deck I came up with. Okay. Killmonger is a phenomenal answer to the Kitty Pride decks. Kitty dies, those demons die, etc., etc. It's fantastic. It ruins their game. But because of the way they're playing, they have an excellent chance at throwing priority against basically every deck. Ghost takes care of that. Because you're running Killmonger, you also run Nova, right? You don't care about killing Ghost on the last turn. Killing 30 power of their stuff is worth killing 2 extra of yours. And Nova is going to make up for that by giving a boost to your board. I was playing earlier in this spot, Scorpion. I changed Scorpion to Ghost here. All right, I kept Jeff because I'm running the Storm Juggernaut combo. The Storm Juggernaut combo is necessary if you're going to play against the best Kitty Collector deck or the Kitty Hulk decks, because on turn 4, those decks can and will often drop something very powerful. They'll drop a Collector there, a Bishop there, and say, okay, now I'm going to win that lane. Well, that's going to beat your Storm and Juggernaut, even with a Silver Surfer after it. So you need Storm with Juggernaut to make sure that lane stays clear. There's no other way for them to get in that lane. That'll win you that lane just fine if you have these two in combo. Cool. That also gives you a spot to play Nova or Ghost with that Juggernaut. Um, the next, this is also a really great play against both meta decks. Bouncing something out of there is fine. If they can get a Doom in there, who cares? Your Surfer makes your Storm and Juggernaut bigger. They are 9 power, which is bigger than a Doombot and a Jeff. Cool. Shadow King is here specifically because Collector. This was my Polaris spot earlier, but Collector, Bishop, Hit Monkey, and Kitty are all completely turned off by Shadow King. Again, you're going to need to lose priority for this to have the most effect, but that's what Ghost is here for. Just make sure that you sequence it before your Silver Surfer and before your Killmonger, please. That will make your plays much better. And Maximus and Sarah, Brood, and Surfer are just the standard bearers of this deck. They're in every version. Rogue is here because you're still seeing enough of the meta decks that being able to remove a Zabu in particular, but also being able to hit a Darkhawk, obviously, a Patriot, should you see a Patriot deck, so on, are game-winning, back-breaking plays. This is just a backup plan. I don't know how good this deck is. This version of the deck has seen precisely 0 games. I'm going to test it tomorrow, and I'm going to show you, in addition, tomorrow, hopefully, another really great Thanos deck. But you're going to need to subscribe for that, for the KM Best discussion tomorrow, and to be entered to win that great giveaway. So what are you waiting for? Do it now. Ring that notification bell. See you tomorrow for another Snap Take.